Hey, Warrior Saints, Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixional live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people with us. We're having an awesome week. I am at least, and I hope you are too. We started yesterday, our live stream yesterday, talking about a character-driven ethic, meaning let's start with our character. Worry about the outside less. We don't want to be personality-driven. We want to be character driven. And I said it to someone the other day like, look, don't you talk about yourself. Let everyone else talk about you in a good way. Let them brag about you because you have worked and focused so hard on your character. Now, one of the beginning steps of developing your character is to be proactive. We talked yesterday about Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The first of his habits is being proactive. And it doesn't just mean for someone who's trying to be proactive that I get ahead of things, although that may be part of it. But being proactive, a person realizes they have the power to choose. They have the power to decide. They have responsibility. They are, as Covey says, you are response able. Able to choose your response. And when people are proactive, they set themselves on a path for exceptionality, right? Like, because none of us really want to be mediocre people. We want to be exceptional. And being proactive in developing our character is one of the first parts of that, the first steps of that. Let's go back to our scripture. Samuel are talking. God has rejected the king, and Samuel's kind of pushing back a little bit. And God said, look, man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord sees the heart, right? The Lord does not judge as man judges. He's looking at the inside to see where are we here, right? And so as we start with our character-driven ethic, we then transition today into being proactive. And what that means is you have to learn and really come to grips with the fact that you have the power to decide where your life goes. You can be proactive. You don't have to sit back and wait for things to happen to you and just kind of like fend them off. Have you seen, this may be a good image for some, and if some don't get it, I'm sorry, but like, those new virtual things, those virtual masks like the Oculus they put over your eyes, and you're like in a virtual world and they have these weird handles, and you can sword fight or whatever it is in the virtual arena. One of the things is that the games that people play is these targets are coming and they use these hand swords to deflect and chop all the stuff that's coming at them. This isn't a way to live your life, right? I mean, like, you're always on the defensive, waiting for stuff to come at you, and you're just swinging as hard as you can and as flailing around to try to defend, your area. Look, why don't you be proactive, right? In other words, let's move towards the source of the monster, if you will, and slay that dragon in and of itself. We do so by being proactive. I'm looking and realizing that I have the power to make decisions in my life. I don't just have to wait and be pummeled by things that come my way. When we take this position and have set ourselves as being proactive, we are on the way towards that ultimate destination of becoming exceptional human beings. But that's where it starts. When we commit ourselves to developing our character, our step is being proactive. We're looking to say, I've got power, I've got control over my life. Now, to do that is sometimes, it's not always clear. Like, I don't even know all the time. I've made some grave mistakes in my life where I'm like, oh, let's do this. And then I was like, oh, that wasn't good. And sometimes it was really bad. Like, we all have those things. And I don't want any of us to lose hope or lose, faith in ourselves because of that. Ultimately, we better not lose faith in God. If we decide to commit ourselves, and here it is, to the way of the warrior saint, we have an opportunity in our proactivity to follow the commandments of God. That's what we teach at the Warrior Saints movement, is how to follow the commandments of God. And here's why. If a person will only follow Christ's way, they have a much better chance of becoming exceptional human beings. Like, Adam tried it the way of the world, and the world is still pushing Adam's way, and it always ends up in misery. Christ's way goes through the misery into the glory, right? And so that's the whole message, is that if we follow God's commandments, which is what Christ did, you have a much better chance of becoming the exceptional man or woman that God has called you to be. In order to do that, to find some proactivity, you got to visit here, warriorsaints.org. Join us on the way of the warrior saint. It's $9, by the way. Come on, man. What's holding you? Love you, beautiful people. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about the power of choice. Love you, beautiful people. Until then, keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.